Hi friends, it's Anne here, and this video is part 2 of my makeup inventory for 2021, so I will link part 1 down below. Part 1 is going through basically all of the face products that I'm using, so I won't go into an overview of what I'm actually doing. That's at the beginning of that video. We're just going to dive right into it. We're starting off with brow products. So I am watching my video from last year just to see where my counts are. And last year I made a comment saying, oh, I'm definitely going to be finishing up a few of these products this year. These are the exact same products that I've had since last year, except for one item, which I'm pretty sure I just decluttered. I didn't actually finish. So last year I had a total of 17 items. The reason why that number is a little higher than what you can actually visually see is because this is a double-ended product. This has 3 powders. So yeah, basically I have 1 pomade, I have 4 pencils, I have 2 pens, so this one's a double-sided pen and pencil, I have 4 gels or mascaras, I have the 1 tint, and then this guy has 3 powders in it, right there, which I rarely use, but I do like it when I do use it. The deep brown's a little too brown. You can see, obviously, the middle one is the one that I use by the loss of print. This is the Dip Brow Pomade and Taupe. This is the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in, I think, brown or medium brown. This is the IT Cosmetics Universal, I think they call it Universal Taupe is the shade. It's just their brow power pencil. This one, to sneak a little swatch in there, this one right here is the Winky Lux. Again, I think it's called Unibrow. It's like a universal brown. You can see it's definitely more cool toned compared to the IT Cosmetics. Hopefully that shows up on camera that you can see the Winky Lux is definitely more cool toned. This is the Brown Betty Urban Decay Brow Blade. So this side's the pencil and this side's the pen. Again, hopefully you can see how red toned the pen is. Had to again squeak in a little swatch right there that you can barely see. That's the Ardell. I don't even know what this is called. It's in taupe. It's like a double-ended pen. I'm not sure if you can see. It's like a two-pronged pen. Something I think I need to declutter, but we'll get around to it. That's that like really faded swatch right there. This is the Essence Make Me Brow in Soft Brownie Brows right here. This is the ABH, again, I want to say it's medium brown right here. And they're pretty close, actually. Like, I'm looking at the swatches, and they're pretty much a dupe for each other. Maybe the ABH one is slightly darker, but they're pretty close. And then I didn't swatch the tint because it's kind of an awkward thing to swatch because it's like a peel-off tint and it's definitely pretty warm toned. Plus I didn't want to stain my arm. And then those are the 3 shades from that Brow Gal, this thing right here. Hopefully that helps. Okay, eye primers. So, or eyeshadow primers. This category just makes me laugh. So last year I had 5. This year I also have 5. They're the same 5. This is just the primer potion that I depotted. You can see I'm working through it. I am getting through, if I can open it, I am getting through this. But I laugh because I said in that video, oh, I should be done that this year. I'm using it in my project pan. I use about 1 a year. Had I not cut it open, I would have had thrown it out thinking it was done. But anyway, the other ones I have are, this is some Mirabella. I don't really know this brand, but it came in a top box eyeshadow primer. This is the CoverGirl Lid Lockup, which I did do a test comparing these, well, technically these two, I guess. Well, not this one specifically, it was this one. Oh my god, I'm really weird today. I did do a comparison test and these basically perform the same. But I did notice when I was looking online, it was kind of hard to find this lid lockup from CoverGirl. So I don't know if it's being discontinued or they're replacing it with something else. Obviously I have a glitter glue. If you wear any sort of sparkly eyeshadow or anything, you definitely want to have a glitter glue. This is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. It's definitely, I think, old packaging. And then this is a second Urban Decay Primer Potion. I think I bought these in 2018. Eyeshadow primer. You go through one. I was saying, I think I go through one a year. I definitely, it takes me longer than a year to use an eyeshadow primer. It's just crazy. Anyway, these are the exact same 5 as last year, so I guess that's good. Okay, this is my liquid eyeliner category. I do have a gel eyeliner in here because this sort of fits the best in this category. I'm actually doing better in this category than I was last year. I have less. So this I count as just one because the stamp and then the liner kind of go together. And then I have this Ciate Fierce Flicks. I have the Pure Nata. I guess I can put this one with... these three, because they're all Color Workshop ones. And then these are the two Pupa Milano ones. I actually really like them. Yeah, so last year I had 11 liquid liners, plus the one gel liner for a total of 12. This year I have 8 liquid liners, plus one gel eyeliner for a total of 9, which I'm pretty happy about this. This is a good number. I probably will declutter this one. I'm looking at maybe buying another one or two of these from Pure Nata, and if I do, I'll definitely declutter this one because I'm looking at buying a blue one and maybe like there's I think a green one, like an olive green one, so that will kind of balance out. But yeah, I'm happy with this because I don't use liquid eyeliner a whole lot. Okay, here we are with liners, and I mentioned this last year, like this might be a lot of pencil liners for some people, but for me this is a category that I like to have variety. I like to have a lot of different colors, but I will echo what I said last year. I feel like I have a lot of gray for some reason, and I'm looking at this and I'm realizing I am missing one. So I have a Marc Jacobs like slim, like ultra fine liner. I think it's called a Dove Affair. I don't know where it is. I just went and tried to look for it in a couple places and it's not where I thought it might have been. Hopefully I come across it at some point before I post this video. But anyway, last year I had 28. This year I have 33. It's gone up by 5, which again is not the end of the world. Like I know I added this color, which is different. I know this one came in a top box or something. No, Tribe Beauty box. So yeah, like I'm okay with this. Again, maybe I have a few too many blacks, but I was doing that test with these two, so I added those ones in because I had 4 black last year and now I have 6. But yeah, I'm happy with this category. I don't mind adding a couple more to this. I don't mind if it grows a little bit more. I think for me, if I could pick a number, I think 40 would be the top number I could go for in this category. I think that would be definitely plenty of eyeliners if I had 40. Okay, mascaras is another category that I'm never too worried about because I go through them. I will finish them up. I like to do mascara testing. So basically from here over are things that are open. Let's turn that around so you can see it. Yep, and then these ones are ones that I haven't used yet or unopened. Well, this one I technically opened to see the brush, but I haven't actually used it on my eyeballs. So last year I had 11 mascaras. 2 of them were minis. This year I have 12, and that includes, it's actually a little different because that also includes a primer, and I didn't have a primer last year, and I only have 1 mini this year. So it's relatively about the same, and I know I will go through these. So these are all sort of like regular black ones with 1 mini. This is a waterproof one, and this is a colored one. Again, I had a blue colored one that I've replaced with this one, so that kind of was like a swap in, swap out. But yeah, mascaras are something that I use regularly, so I have no problem using these up. Sorry for the background noise. I don't know what neighbor it is, but one of my neighbors, whenever they turn water on, and it's almost always around this time, and I don't know if they're having a shower, if they're doing the dishes, but you can always hear it in the background. And in a lot of my videos, you'll hear it. And I try and like film around it or wait, but sometimes it's just, I just want to film. Stop running your water. God, how inconsiderate. Oh, condo life. Okay, now we're on to the single eyeshadow category. So I'm going to do this a little different order than I did last year. No particular reason why, I just wanted to start with the sort of liquid and cream shadows, and then I'll do the loose and the pressed shadows, single shadows after, and then we'll go into palettes. So this is what I call liquid eyeshadows. For some reason in this category, which I don't think I did in a lot of other categories, was I gave my 2019 numbers. 2017, oh my god, we're really flying back in time. So I can give numbers from 2019 and 2020 and can compare it to 2021. feel like I'm having a hard time enunciating today. Anyway, these are the liquid eyeshadows, and in 2019 I had 3, and I know for sure it was, I think, these 2 and this one. 2020 I had 8, and then now I have 12. So these are the 5 that I've added in this year. And it's so funny watching my video from last year, because I was like, I really don't want this category to go up. I don't want like my creams and liquids to go up. I really want to focus on pressed. And then it's like interesting how your preferences change. At some point at the end of last year and beginning of this year, I was like really into trying or wanting to try cream and liquid eyeshadows. So that's how we've ended up here with 12. So not a huge increase over last year, but when you kind of compile it over 2 years, definitely an increase. So I don't know if I'll swatch everything, but I thought I'd swatch some of the things. So this is the top row. I purposely put these 3 beside each other because they're all new to me, yet they're different. So hopefully you can see all the swatches there. So that top one is this Inmo by Magnolia, influence.com. The next one is called Blessed Neva Stressed. This one is the Natasha Denona Crystal Chroma Liquid Eyeshadow in Moonstone. This is the Kaja Moon Crystal in Luminary. This is Kaja Moon Crystal in Mythical. And then this is the Almay Velvet Foil Cream Shadow in, I want to say Astro Girl. Yep, Astro Girl. This one I kind of have a renewed love for, because you can tell it doesn't look like much, but it's more of like a topper shade. It just adds like a nice iridescent sparkle shimmer on top of other shadows. So it works really well like that. It's not really great on its own. So those are those shadows. You can see like this, the Inmo one is kind of like not nearly as exciting as the other ones. And this is the Inmo one that I might declutter. If anything, it's going to go over to Halloween makeup, and then if it doesn't survive that, it's getting decluttered. And then these are just swatches of the bottom row. So these 3 are these Stila Glimmer and Glows. This first one up here at the top is this one's Sunset Fire. The one next to it, the yellowish one, is called Follow the Sun. And then the bronzy one is called Burnished Sienna. So again, these are, I would say, more topper type colors. They don't, like you can even see there, like they don't do much on their own, but they definitely look nice as toppers. The next 2 are the Essence Metal Shocks eyeshadows. I really like these. I definitely would recommend them if you're looking for a liquid eyeshadow. The sort of pinky one is called 1 Second to Mars, so that's 1 Second to Mars. And then this one is probably my favorite, is called Stars and Stories. And then the one on the bottom here is from the Appeal brand. I think it came in a BoxyCharm, and it's called Rose Gold. Again, absolutely beautiful. I really, really enjoy that. So that's those swatches right there. So I had to stick this here because apparently my table and or floor is unbalanced and everything keeps rolling this way. So this is just holding it. This is my, what do you call it, ColourPop lippy stick from my project pan, holding these things together. So this category, as I actually talked with the eyeshadows, is the eyeshadow sticks or eyeshadow crayons category, and this is exactly the same as last year. These are the exact same products as last year. I could have taken the footage from last year and just put it in here because it's the same products. These 5 are more like base colors, whereas these ones are actually like regular eyeshadows, I guess. So I'll put in some swatches of these as well. These 2 may not stick around. I've kind of on and off tested them. It depends on, I'll definitely get to a point where I'll just declutter these ones. I'm surprised too, like I really haven't used these as much as I normally thought I would have. So I need to kind of like get using these, particularly the next ones, a bit more. Because I forget that like using milk, like the white base, definitely makes certain colors pop a lot better. And so does like a black base. It'll make other colors pop better. Okay, and here are swatches of all of them. So these 2 top ones are these 2 eye crayons from the Color Workshop. One's just gold and one's silver. This one is NYX, and it's called Strawberry Milk. I like to wear that one just on its own. For me, it's a good like summertime easy eyeshadow. Then there's Black Bean and Milk from NYX. And then these 4 are the Nude Sticks ones. The top one is called Maroon. This one's called Pink Seychelles. This one's called Rustic Grotto. And this one's called Preya. I never know how to pronounce that one. I did a whole video on these. They are quite nice. They do dry down a bit, so like if I rub my arm later, like they'll stay. I did test that. I actually took them with me camping to test them just on their own as like quick eyeshadows, like with no primer or anything else. They don't last. They really just fade away, at least on my eyes. They'll maybe last like 2 or 3 hours and then they fade away. I mean, they're nice enough products, but there's something about the Nudestix brand that I just find off, and I can't put my finger on it. They are a bit pricey for what they are, for like literally like it's just pencil products, and they don't seem to be anything special. I'm always intrigued though to try more of their products, although I think a lot of their stuff lately that they've released people haven't really liked from what I'm remembering. Like I think they released a foundation and a concealer and I don't think they had good reviews. I could be wrong, but yeah, anyway, those are just the swatches of all my shadow sticks. So these are what I consider my loose eyeshadows. This category is fairly similar to last year. Last year I had 10, and the year before I also had 10, and it's up to 12, and the only reason why it's up to 12 is because of these two samples from Pure Nata, which this one's technically a highlight, but I don't use it as a highlight. I use it as an eyeshadow, so that's why it's in this category. And as much as I say I don't really like loose eyeshadows, and I'm really not looking to add to this very much, I do really like this one, and I'm thinking of buying this one in full size and maybe another shade in full size from Pure Nata. So I'll throw in some swatches of these. It's pretty interesting to see like 2 are Pure Nata, 2 are Gosh, 2 are Bare Minerals, 4 are Fiorine, and then I just have like a Marcel and a NYX. So it's interesting that like I have multiples from each brand almost, which I find, I don't know, I just found that interesting. I'm not sure why. Okay, here we are with the top row of shadows. So this top one is Ethereal from Pure Nata. The next one is Magic Mauve from Pure Nata, which is almost, sorry, I'm realizing I'm out of frame. It's so hard to get this one to pick up on camera, but it's so nice. It's just a really, really pretty color, but I feel like the camera is not doing it justice. This one's actually almost done. I think I'm gonna pull it out and just finish it up, and it'll be in my empties for May. This one is called Plummy. It's from the brand Gosh. This one's a favorite of mine. It's called Meringue. It's from Gosh as well. Then I have these 2 from Bare Minerals. This one's really interesting because it's like this weird packaging. Let me just show you. I don't have anything else like this. So this one, I don't know if it has a name. I think I don't see a name on it, but it's like this dirty gold. It's like this old gold color. And then the one on the bottom is sort of like, I keep it, but I rarely use it. It's like my fantasy self. It's this cool like black base with like multi-chrome, maybe not multi-chrome, like silver and purple. Like there's multiple different colors, glitters in it. I don't know again how well it's picking up on camera in terms of seeing that shimmer, but it's so pretty. Love that color. So that's the top row of shadows right there. The camera wants to focus. Alright, and here are shadows from the bottom row. These 4 are from Fiorine. They're really, really nice, and you get a boatload of product from them. I feel bad that I don't use them as often as I'd like to, just because they're loose powders, and even just doing these swatches, I'm like, holy god, I hate doing loose eyeshadows, just so messy. Anyway, this top one is called Nihiro. It's probably my favorite. It's the one that I picked. This one was a sample. This one's called Meerkat. This one is called Mythical Dalliance. It's a duochrome. I don't know how well it will show up on camera there, but you can see like there's sort of red and gold and green. It's a really interesting color. This color is beautiful. Again, camera doesn't see it. Well, you can kind of see there. It's like, what do you call it? Neon. It's called Winter Sunset, I think. Or sorry, Winter Sunrise. Beautiful color in the summer. If you have deep skin tone, this would probably be beautiful on deep skin tone. This is what I'm actually considering decluttering. I never use it. It's a really yellow gold. It's called Luxe. It's from the brand Marcel. I don't really like the packaging. The color is just okay. I'm not a big yellow gold kind of person. It doesn't suit me. So I might declutter that one. And then this bottom one is one I really, really love, called Luna from NYX. Again, it's sort of like a duochrome, multi-chrome type thing. It's got this beautiful like purple and blue iridescence. I usually don't wear it that thick. I usually like it's more like an inner corner highlight or like an overlay type color, kind of like that Astro Girl from Almay. So that's the bottom six. Okay, and these are the ones I'm classifying as cream. I feel like I recategorized like the cream and the liquid just because these, I guess, would be like the potted cream ones. The other category had some that were cream, but they're like in tubes. So anyway, I don't know, maybe next year I'll just put them all together as one category. I was going to do it as one category this year, and then I watched my video from last year, and it's like, oh, I separated them out. So anyway, long story short, this category is actually down by one. I had 9 last year, I have 8, and it's because I decluttered that Bombshell Cosmetics one that I just never liked. It never worked. Didn't work as a base. It was too emollient / oily as a base, so it didn't stay. So then shadows didn't stay on top of it, and then on its own it never looked good. So these are the 8, and the reason why it's 8 is because there's 4 shadows in here. Again, I talked about maybe decluttering this one at some point, but I do really like it. I don't know. I keep contemplating maybe doing a Partners in Cream project, but we'll see. So I'll do some swatches of these guys. Okay, hopefully I've got them all on the screen here, or most of them anyway. So these top 3 here are the L'Oreal Infallible ones. I really, really enjoy these ones. They're really good. So this one is Ice Latte, this one is Bronze Taupe, and this one is Amber Rush. I think you can see on the screen there's a reason why I like Amber Rush. It's a cult favorite. This is a Stila Magnificent Metals in Kitten. It's a really old formula. I think like they called a billion different things kitten. But I really do enjoy this, and it was one of those ones that I was kind of saving for like special occasions. It's almost like a foiled eyeshadow. It reminds me of like foiled gold, but I've started wearing it more often because it is really pretty. And then I don't even know if you can see these on camera. These 4 shades right here. These 4 shades right here are from this. I really do enjoy these 2 top shades. There's like a mauve color and then like a bronzy color. This shade is kind of nice, but again, it's really hard to see on my skin. The only color I don't like is the yellowy gold. Again, not a big fan of yellowy gold. Doesn't look good on me, but I do really enjoy these 2 shades right here. Again, hopefully you can see those. So those are the shadows, all my cream shadows right there. And here we are at single pressed shadows. So this is the end of the singles realm, and hopefully I fit everything on the camera here. This category has grown. So in 2019 I had 26. Last year I had 34, so I went up by 8. This year I have 41, so I've gone up by 7. So yeah, this category is, I maybe need to dial it back a little. I know I even said this last year that like I knew it went up by 8 last year, and I knew that eyeshadow was not something I bought a lot of previously, but I feel like in the last few years it's definitely something like I can guarantee you I haven't even done my palettes yet, but those categories are going to be way higher than they were compared to 2019 and 2020. Like it just keeps going up. Partially because I don't declutter things. I really don't want to declutter things. I don't like decluttering things. And I look at this and I do have not a lot of overlap other than like I am looking at some of these things here, and like a couple of these things like these came in subscription box stuff. Same with this one and these two. So like I'm kind of happy with my decision right now to like cool it on subscription boxes, because I feel like subscription box, while it adds affordable things, like I get things at a good price and I do like a lot of the stuff, it maybe not necessarily what I intentionally want to add to my collection. So yeah, so I'm not going to swatch these because there's way too many of them and we'll be here for like 10 years. But maybe I'll do that in a separate video at some point, just swatching my single shadows. I don't know, does that sound like a fun idea? I might do it. If people are into it, I'll do it. And And again, maybe at that point I will declutter one or two. I don't know, like I'm looking at it right now and I don't know what I would declutter, to be honest. Potentially, like I know this is going to dry out, the ColourPop one. I did declutter one last year because it just dried out. But yeah, and I am talking about decluttering these two. These are the oldest ones, I think. Actually, these might be the oldest. They're from like Maybelline quads that I tore apart. Anyway, let's get into the totals. So in 2019, the single eyeshadows I had 47. In 2020, I knew that category was going to jump by a lot, and I had 70, so it jumped by 23 last year. We're doing better. So from last year to this year, I now have 82 single eyeshadows. It's gone up by 12, which I feel like adding, so if I spread that out, I think I added on average, one single shadow a month. That's totally reasonable to me. One single shadow a month, at least in my world of makeup, and probably most of your worlds too. If we're all here on YouTube watching beauty videos, I think we all have a similar mindset. So yeah, so I have 82 single eyeshadows. So we're gonna go through all of the palettes, and the one thing that I've done is I will add up all the pans in each palette, so I'll have a total of all of the actual eyeshadow single pans that I have, including the pans and the palettes. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, now we are on to kind of some of the fun stuff. This is the eyeshadow palette category. So I have numbers from 2019 and last year. So 2019 I had 7. Obviously there's more than 7 now. Then last year I had 16. So I categorize these as small, so anything with less than 8 pans. I say 8 because this one has 7, so it's like, well, let's just put this in this category. So last year I had 16 in this category, so I went up by 9 between 2019 and 2020. As of right now, I have 19. So this category has gone up by 3, which is a lot better than 9. I know I have decluttered a couple. I'm pretty sure I decluttered at least 1 or 2 of these little guys. And I've tried to put the ones that were new to me. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one at the top. They're the ones I think that are new to me, or new since I did this last year. So I'm not going to swatch all these, but I will open them up and show them. So one of the new ones to me is this Maybelline City Mini palette. Really enjoy this one. This one is called 510 Blushed Avenue. Oh my gosh, it's hard to open. I'll be honest, I was surprised at how small the pans were. They're definitely a lot smaller than I thought they were. But really, this is I really like this color scheme. The only thing I don't like is these two are very similar colors. They should have maybe done, I don't know, like a lilac color or something, just to give it a bit more variety. But love that. Oh, I've got these in the wrong way. So let's stick with new. This is also new to me. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Quad in Pillow Talk. These are stupid expensive. I bought this through, I want to say it was Reddit, through a makeup exchange through Reddit. I really do like this quad, but I would definitely not pay full price for the Charlotte Tilbury Quad. I don't know if it's focusing on it. There you go. Yeah, beautiful. If you can get this on sale, I do really enjoy this. Again, it's a very soft muted. If you like bright colors or a lot of intensity or a lot of depth, you're not going to get that out of that. This was a little quad that I got through Ipsy. It's fine. It's the Ariza Beauty Astral Amethyst Shimmer Shadow Quad. It's a nice little quad. It's fine. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. This one is also new to me. This is the e.l.f. Bite Size Palette in Rose Water. Again, I laugh because this is so similar to other palettes that I have. But anyway, I actually really, really like this, and I do kind of want to buy more of these, but I know I shouldn't, because I looked at the palettes and there's nothing really in those Bite Size palettes that are kind of unique to me. And I do have a fair amount of good small palettes here, but yeah, really enjoy that. This is probably the newest one. This was a little duo. What is it? Shades by Sean, and the duo was Shortcake, Honey, and Whip. To be honest, I don't really care for this. It's okay. The lighter color, like the matte color, is kind of pointless. This is an okay color, but it's definitely not as nice as some other eyeshadows I have. The other little duo I have that I love, and I'm so disappointed that it's somewhat destroyed, because it was cracked when I bought it, and then it just kept getting worse. This is a little Pixie by Petra duo in Orchid Ornament. The lighter color in this, of course, it's the one that's smashed, is so nice. I think I paid $3 for this out of Winners or Marshalls. If it will focus. Don't focus on that. Focus on this. There we go. Yeah, this is such a nice little duo. This color is so nice. I don't know if I can even, little swatch won't do it justice, so we're not going to do that. This is the Too Faced Razzle Dazzle palette. I kind of wish I'd bought the other one. If I come across the pineapple one, I might still buy it. I wish Too Faced would create more like this. I really like the formula of this one. I know that these are kind of old, so it would be kind of old buying the pineapple one, but I still might buy it anyway. I bought it for a giveaway. Kind of sad, and I've come across it a few times, and I've decided not to buy it, but yeah, this is a really nice palette. This is one of my favorite palettes. This is the Tarte Pro To Go palette. Again, I use this definitely for travel. It's a great little travel palette. You get enough variety, you get enough neutral, but a little pop of color. It's one of my favorite palettes ever. This one's actually not a bad palette. I just overlook it a lot. This is the Blink palette that came in a BoxyCharm, I want to say in 2017. Most of the palettes I have the date on the back from when I bought it, but this one, I don't know exactly when I bought it. It's definitely an underused palette for me, but it is a good palette. Like, they're nice shadows. It's probably underused mostly because it's not a self-contained palette. This is also another underused palette for me, mostly because again, it's not a self-contained palette, and I don't really care for, like, I'm not a yellow gold eyeshadow person. I don't mind yellow. I've learned that I like yellow eyeshadow, but not a yellow gold, like a yellow shimmer. It's not really my thing. But this is a Natasha Denona. I think it's called Joya. It was a holiday palette. And I want to say I got this in a lucky bag about 2 years ago. Maybe 3. I have 4 of these little quads. They're really hard to open, so yeah, I'm not going to open them. This is a purple one. This is sort of like a pinky one. This is a gray one. I might decolor that one. And then this is like another sort of like pink, but different kinds of pinks. I actually quite like them. They're really pretty good quality. They're nice complementary palettes. So like for a palette that I have for my project pan, I can like add one of these in, or like mix it with like a palette like this one. Might as well just open that one up. They're not bad quality. They're kind of sheer, but they're buildable. This is another palette that I really love, and I'm kind of annoyed that it seems like they've discontinued this. I liked the Naked over the Naked 2 because of the extreme variety. Like, you basically had white and you had black, and then you had like good degrees of difference between the colors. Whereas the Naked 2, the colors seem a little bit more similar. So I'm a little sad that it seems like you can still get the Naked 2, but you can't get the Naked. I hope they like maybe recreate this or exactly the same. Like, why just stop making it, Urban Decay? It's a good palette. Probably the reason why they stopped making it is these last forever. These eyeshadows are very hard packed, and they're very fine, and I find like it's very, very hard to actually pan those. This is another overlooked palette in my collection, but it's really good. I need to make sure I pick this in a Shop My Stash. This is a Butter London palette. It's the Natural Goddess. It's quite nice. It's nothing unique. It's nothing revolutionary, but the shadows are quite nice. The one that I really like Queen in this one, and Diva's pretty nice too, but Queen is like my favorite color in this one. This is a palette that caught me by surprise because it looks kind of like, I mean, I love the packaging. I love the outer packaging. It's super, super cute. Like, look how cute that is. But when you open it up, you're like, oh, really? That's it? Like, there are these giant pans. And I guess it could be kind of a quasi face and eye palette. But these are really nice eyeshadows. They're really nice quality, really nice colors. Again, not really a palette that you can use on its own necessarily. It pairs better with other palettes, but yeah, this one, really, really nice. And if I didn't say what it was the Sugar Pill Little Twin Stars palette. And I think you can still get this. Not sure if you can get the palette on its own, but you can get, I'm pretty sure they still had the little kit with the liquid lipsticks. This is also a Charlotte Tilbury quad. This one I have taken my time to warm up to. I like the Pillow Talk one better. This one's called Dolce Vita, which I think was renamed to something else. The shadow that just never works for me is this one. I don't even know if you can see it on camera. I have a really hard pan on it, and it just constantly gets like that. And I just, yeah, this one I don't love as much as the other one, but I do, the more I use it, the more I like it, but I definitely like the Pillow Talk one better. And the last one that I hang on to, again, it's one that I consider decluttering, but it is super convenient for travel, and the shadows are pretty nice in this, is this little Ipsy NYX one. I don't know if they ever did any other collaborations, or this is the only palette that they did. I don't even know if there were like other color combinations, or again, this was like the only colors, but this is actually a pretty decent little palette, and enough variety that you can get like a nice day look, or that you can add in the black and get like a deeper look, or use it as eyeliner. Like it's a good little palette. And it is kind of cute. I like the packaging. So those are all of my small palettes, which is basically any palette that has 7 pans or less. Okay, I think I've organized this correctly. These ones just barely fit on the screen. I could probably zoom my camera out a little bit more, but it gets a bit dicey. Not zoom the camera, but like change the height of the camera, but it gets a little unbalanced at that point. So I know, Harley, it's not time to eat dinner yet. We still have half hour to go. And so for this category, I had 9 palettes in 2019. So I don't think I mentioned the medium category is palettes that have between 8 and 12 pans. I think that's all these ones. Sometimes I miscount them, but I think that's these ones. So again, in 2009, I had 9 of these. In 2020, I had 15. So this category went up by 6 last year. And this year, again, I have 19. So the exact same number as 2021. And I went up by 4 in this category. So again, not a whole lot more than 2020. I mean, the increase between 2019 and 2020 was more, but still, this category has been increasing. I didn't do the same thing I did last time, but the new palettes are just sort of dispersed between the other palettes because I was trying to get this on the page, but I think this one's the new one, this one's a new one, this one's a new one, and this one's a new one compared to when I did this. Maybe this one too? I must have got rid of something as well in this category. That one might be new as well. I can't remember exactly when I got this compared to when I did. Yeah, so that would be new as well. So let's just go through these. So I talked about decluttering this one. This is a Tarte. I don't know what the name of this one is. Be You Naturally came in a BoxyCharm. I ended up not decluttering it. I had asked friends if anybody wanted this. It's a little too old for me to like sell it or give away to somebody I don't know, but I did ask like friends if anybody wanted this. Nobody did. It's still good. I mean, it's not a favorite, but I can still use it, so I've kept it. This is one that I wanted to color, but I don't want to color. I wanted to color because it's old, but when I do use it, it's really nice. It's the Roses True Naked, CoverGirl True Naked Roses, and this is the old one. I know they reformulated these, and I think they weren't as good when they reformulated them. This is a candidate for panning, though, because it is older, and I do have now, I have like 2 dupes, because that e.l.f. Bite Size palette plus this e.l.f. palette right there are basically the same. I actually did a whole video comparing these two, and yeah, I can basically duplicate this palette with the e.l.f. one. This is another favorite palette that I feel like I never get to use often enough because I have too many palettes, but I really enjoy this one. This is the Huda Beauty Nude Light palette. I'm a little sad that it's kind of, I dropped it, so this is kind of broken, and I'm afraid now to travel with this because of that, but because it would be a great travel palette. I'd almost consider buying a new version just so I could do that, but let's be real, I'm not going to be that person. This one I really enjoy. This is the Smashbox Petal Metal. I think I actually just recently talked about this in a Shop My Stash or a review video, and yeah, really like this one. This is one I need to probably declutter. I need to test it and make sure that it's not good. This one is the Bold Glitter Eye Palette. Got this at Marshall's or Winners. I'm pretty sure these are like dried out, but I need to just double check. It's an awkward palette because I don't know when and how to use it. And I need to either commit to playing with it and figuring it out. I think the thing for me is these are darker shades. Like if you know me, if you watch my videos, I do kind of prefer lighter eyeshadows because I have very deep set eyes. So darker shadows are just not a fan of mine. Plus darker shadows are a bit more they're not as forgiving as lighter eyeshadows, but yeah, I need to remind me this needs to be tested before the end of the year, and I need to determine if I'm keeping it or getting rid of it. This one's new to me, and I'm super excited to play with this in the summertime. This is the Poppy Cosmetics Neon Drip Palette. It's, as you can see, very neon. And I've played with it a little bit, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm super excited to, it just screams more like July, August to me. So I want to play with it in the summertime and have a bit more fun with it. But yeah, super happy to have this. Pretty unique in my collection. This is a palette that I got in my Lucky Bag last year, and a lot of people poo-pooed this. They're like, what brand is this, blah, blah, blah. I actually quite like this palette. Again, maybe not a standalone palette, but they're quite nice shadows in here. Like, they're not bad. Again, I probably wouldn't have paid full price for this. They're very large pans too, and it is a bit of a unique palette in my collection as well in terms of shades. This one here looks really cool, but it's definitely more of a topper shade. It's not a great lid shade in terms of like using it on its own, which is unfortunate because that one would have been really nice if you could use it on its own, like you could really build it up. So I have two of these palettes, the Rimmel Magnify Eyes. This one's the Spice Edition. It's a dupe for the Naked Heat, and I'm glad I bought this instead of the Naked Heat because this is generally not my kind of color story, but I do like to have this on hand when I feel like using this color story. Same with this one. This one is the Crimson Edition, and this one's more like I think the cherry one. Again, a lot of deep colors in this. This is hard for me to use all on its own, but I do like the colors in this. Like I'm a pinky toned kind of person, and I do like these colors. But yeah, I'm glad I just like bought the cheaper ones instead of the expensive ones because the quality of those is really good for the price. This palette, I'm just not going to rave about it because I feel like I've talked about this palette so much. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Starry Eyes to Hypnotize palette. I got it in my Lucky Bag this year. Really, really enjoyed this palette. Like, really enjoyed this palette. Love it. So this is the e.l.f. Rose Gold palette. Again, I bought this, when did I buy this? End of 2019. And after I brought it and brought it home, I was like, oh my god, this is exactly the same as the True Naked palette. I did also have a casualty in this. This one fell apart. I think I dropped this palette. Little sad about that. I'm getting eyeshadow all over the table here that I'll have to wipe up. These four, I'm not going to bother opening just because I want to get through this. They're from the Color Workshop. They're actually really good. I really enjoy this one and this one. I think probably my favorite is actually this one, the pinkier one. But I kind of keep these ones around too because of the variety. Like if I want to bring in color or if I want to bring in grays. This is one that, again, I might consider. I always say I might consider decluttering this one because it's really not... Like, it's a lot of grays, and I'm sure I probably have these colors in other palettes, whereas this one is a little bit different enough that I don't really have these colors. This, again, is maybe a candidate for panning. It's a great neutral palette that I could mix and match with a lot of other palettes. This is a palette I haven't really played with. I got this, I think in June. Yeah, June last year, and then I realized as I was using it, it was more like a fall. It's pretty... I don't know, they're pretty rich colors. I like the Violet Voss formula. I know some people don't. I really enjoy Violet Voss eyeshadows. And this is a nice neutral, but it is kind of deep. So I need to remind myself to pull this in a Shop My Stash for the fall this year, because I kind of forgot to do that last year. This is a great little travel palette as well. This is the Viseart Petite Pro, I want to say number 3. And it's kind of like got a purpley row and a pinky row with a couple neutrals thrown in. And yeah, this is just like... me and an eyeshadow palette. This is perfect for me for travel. I really enjoy this. I like this formula. It's not a super intense formula. I would say it's a little bit more buildable. It's a little bit more approachable, I think, for someone like me. If you like really intense eyeshadows, you might not like at least this palette. I don't know about the other small palettes. This one is new to me, and I basically bought it because of the packaging. It's the I Heart Revolution Snow Globe palette in the Penguin. I think there were 2 of them. And the colors on this, I was quite surprised. The colors on this, when I look at it, it's like, ugh. But when I actually tried it on my eyeballs, it's like, oh, I really quite like this. It's quite a nice little palette. But yeah, I didn't need this. I mean, it cost me like $4.99. I think, yeah, $4.99. How could I pass that up? So cute. The little like glitters are little penguins. And I know not everybody likes this palette, but this is the Too Faced White Peach palette. I really enjoy this. As I said, I'm more of a light eyeshadow person. So I like this one because it is light eyeshadow. definitely maybe not a standalone palette, and it is kind of boring, but for like a nice light wash of color, I think if you're really deep skin tone, this could look ashy, like it could look chalky on you. Like if you have olive skin tone or deep skin tone, this palette definitely is not going to work for everybody, but if you're fair to light with cool to neutral undertones, I think this palette would suit you. Again, only if you like sort of these light colors. I gotta pull this out. This is actually gonna be what I'm pulling out, I think, for my next Shop My Stash. Spoiler alert. So yeah, these are my medium-sized palettes. Okay, these are my large palettes. They don't even fit on my little table here, so I'm gonna have to put in a screenshot. I'll have to put them on the floor and take a picture of all of them, but we'll still go through each one individually. And for numbers, so in 2019 I had 10 large palettes. In 2020 I went up by 4 and had 14. This year I've gone up by 3 and I have 17. Now I don't think it's a direct, because there's 4 that I've added, but I must have decluttered 1. So I have 4 new ones. This is a category that I struggle with. I don't love large palettes, but ironically some of these are large, but they're large because they have more than 12 shadows in the actual like packaging. But like, I mean, obviously this one's super tiny. I actually really love this format. I think there's one called Utopia that's new from NYX in this format that I kind of want to buy. That's where I make exceptions for like larger palettes where the format's pretty small, even though there's a large number of shadows in it. I actually have one palette, this one I'll show you in a second, that's kind of funny. It's got a bajillion shadows and it's super tiny, and I don't know why I hang on to it, but I don't want to let it go. Anyway, let's go through the large palettes. So the first one I want to talk about is the Natasha Denona one. This is the Glam palette. This one's new to me. I'm going to go through all the new ones. I love this palette. This is a perfect, I wouldn't even say it's cool tone, because to me it's very neutral. I guess it is cool tone, but to me it's a very neutral tone palette. The newest palette to me is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. Wow, that's always like marbles in my mouth when I try and say that. Love playing with this one. I actually am probably going to keep it out for my Shop My Stash because I want to keep playing with it because I feel like I haven't fully utilized it yet. This one is also new to me. It's the Dominique Cosmetics Celestial Storm. Again, one that I want to kind of try more in the summertime or like August, September, I feel like would be ideal for this. I actually really enjoy this. The colors are kind of deep, and I would maybe prefer to mix it with some other, actually it might mix really well with this palette. But I really like the quality of these eyeshadows. I'm still tempted to get the Berries and Cream. It's been on sale. I don't know if it's on sale right now. It has been on sale, and I have really considered buying it, but I've held off because, again, I have too many palettes. And the other large one, which is actually quite small, is this, or new to me, is the Shades of Roses by Be Bella. Sometimes I call it Bed of Roses. Again, I've talked a lot about this palette. I've really enjoyed it. It's very unique to me. And yeah, fun to play with, that one. So I'm just gonna go, let's start on this side. So I have 3 Too Faced palettes. This probably is my favorite one out of all of them. It's the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons. Again, no surprise here. It's more of like a neutral, cool palette. Potential panning candidate, but at the same time I don't want to pan these because I like them and I don't really want to use them up. The next one I have is the extra spicy one. I know a lot of people prefer the spicy gingerbread. I liked this one better. The color layout of this one just spoke to me a little bit more. It's a little bit more neutral. I would actually say that I think it was Make Up Your Mind. She's gone through a video of all of her eyeshadow palettes and she mentioned that the spicy one is more spicy, and I would agree with her on that. And then this is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This one is not that old. Like, I didn't buy this when it first came out. I want to say I got this in 2016, maybe 2017. So mine's not super old, but yeah. This one has never lived up to the hype for me. It's a good palette, but I don't know. The colors don't always, everything just turns out brown, even though there's some colorful shadows. This is a really funny eyeshadow palette. This is called the Chic Eyeshadow Book by e.l.f. I picked this up in Winners or Marshalls, again, a long time ago, and it's just the weirdest palette ever. But I kind of like it because I have all these colors, especially like a lot of purples and blues and greens that I don't really have in other palettes. They're not the most pigmented. They're super tiny pans. Like if you see my finger, like I have small fingers, like my thumb just like doesn't even fit in them. If you have big hands, you would hate this. I don't even know how old this is, to be honest, but I keep it around just because. I don't know if I will ever declutter it. There's something weird about this palette that I like. I don't really ever use it either. This one you guys probably saw a lot. If you've followed me for a while, you've seen this one a lot, because this was my panning palette from last year. I still like it. I still like these shadows. This is something I would actually consider repurchasing. Maybe trying to pan the other half a little bit more and then purchase a new one. I was hoping they don't take it away. Okay, my camera cut me off because the battery, or no, not the battery, the card was full. So I actually finished talking about all the palettes and was like, let me just check. Ah, crap. Anyway, so I think I left off on this palette. So the next palette I want to talk about is, which I've already talked about all these, this is the Profusion Pro Pigment palette. This is a palette that's like, I think the name Pro Pigment is a good name for it because it does take a little bit to work or figure this palette out. Like for example, these three look all white, but they're all different shifts. Like this has, I think, a purpley shift, this has a yellowy shift, this has like a pinky shift. Some of the colors just don't quite translate on the eye the way you think they're going to translate, so you kind of have to play with it to figure it out. That's a little bit better. So yeah, really enjoy this palette. I wish I had more Profusion palettes. I don't really recall seeing them in Winners or Marshalls recently. Like, I'm trying to think of, one was called Sienna that I'd seen like 2 years ago. I want to say within the last year. I mean, granted, I've been in Winners or Marshalls maybe 4 times or less in the last year because past the time. But I feel like there's not been a lot of Profusion in the stores. This is a palette that I overlook a lot. This is the Morphe Kathleen Lights collaboration. I think it's the only one they did. Maybe they did 2. It's a nice palette. It's actually a really nice color selection. It does kind of scream a bit fall to me, but it's not, I don't know, like I feel like I could use this anytime. Maybe this is a good candidate for panning because I don't love this palette. Don't really like Morphe. I like Kathleen Lights. I don't really watch her that much anymore, but this was a nice palette, but I could use it or lose it, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be upset panning this and not having it anymore. Speaking of panning, actually, let's talk about this one. This is the Carly Bible palette. This is the BH Cosmetics palette, the deluxe edition. There was a smaller one. I'm not going to open this up because I don't want you to see progress. So you almost caught me off guard on that one, but I'm not going to open that one up. This is the Violet Voss Flamingo palette. Again, really like the Violet Voss formula. I don't see very many people have this palette, and when they do have it, they seem to declutter it, which always makes me sad. I'm like, no, keep it. I like it. Like, it's got really, really nice shimmers. Some of the mattes are really nice. It's a really interesting palette. It's pretty unique to my collection. I just really like it. And look how cute the packaging is. Like, this is the nicest packaging. I love the way this looks. It's little, like, flamingos and the, like, fade. This is the BH Cosmetics Royal Affair palette. I like this palette. I did do a test comparing these shadows to the Zodiac palette, which I'll talk about in a second, and these ones are not quite as good. The Zodiac palette shadows are definitely better, particularly the shimmers. I feel like some of the mattes in this one I think are better. This palette just kind of confuses me sometimes though. Like, the color story is pretty interesting. It's got like this like baby blue and this like chartreuse color and then this like bright pinkish color. It actually looks pretty similar to this palette. Now that I look at it, like, color stories are pretty similar, aren't they? Anyway, it's a palette that I don't use often enough. I have used it, like I did do some targeted use on it, but I feel like because there's so many shadows in this that I feel like I don't get enough use out of it when I do pick it. This is a palette I will never get rid of. This is the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette. I love Gwen Stefani. She is my girl crush. If I could be anybody, I would like to be her. Super boring palette, but the shadows are fine. Like, it's, I would say, mid-quality. They're not the best quality shadows. And it is pretty redundant in a lot of the shades, but I still will never declutter this. Like, I keep this as sort of a collector's item. There'll probably be a point in time where I don't use the shadows, but I get sad when I see people decluttering this. I'm like, no, it's so pretty. Like, even if I decided to, like, just say I decided to pan this and use these shadows up, I would keep this for the actual packaging and, like, put other shadows in it. Like, it's so nice. It's, like, it's nice and heavy, and I don't know. It's a really luxe looking package. Let's talk about this one, the BH Zodiac palette. Again, really love this palette. I would recommend, if you don't have this palette and you're thinking about getting this palette, get it. If you can get it. I don't know if it's still sold on their website, but I picked this up at Marshall's on sale. In Canada, BH Cosmetics is a bit more expensive. Like, you have to order from their website, and there's exchange and shipping. It's not as cheap. It's kind of like ColourPop. It's not as cheap. So for us, BH Cosmetics does come into, like, Winners or Marshalls. I think it's also sold at Urban Outfitters. I don't know if that's the name of the store, if I'm making that up. But yeah, I think it's Urban Outfitters. You can get BH Cosmetics in store as well. So yeah, really, really like this palette. Again, there's so many colors in this, and I feel like I have not used this enough. I mean, it looks, when I look at it, it looks untouched. It looks pretty much brand new. Definitely need to pull this for a Shop My Stash. And another favorite palette of mine is this Natural Lust palette. I actually wanted the Natural Love palette, and when this came out originally, I was not that interested in it. It's deeper. There is a bit more dimension. I feel like the Natural Love had a lot of light colors and maybe not as much differences in the colors. I mean, this has a lot of similarities too. Like, they could have cut this down by like a good third and still had about the same variety. But I really enjoy this palette. Again, another palette that I think is still being sold at Winners and Marshalls. You can still pick it up here or there. And if you're eyeing it, I definitely recommend getting it. It was originally pretty expensive too. And I think I did still pay quite a bit for this. Yeah, I don't have the price on it anymore. I'm pretty sure I paid like $30 or $40 for this, but it was originally like $60 or something like that. So yeah, if you can get this on sale and you like it, and again, the packaging, I really like this. Like, I bought the bronzer as well because the packaging is really pretty, and I like peacocks. I like birds in general. Okay, numbers. So I had 17 large, 19 medium, and 19 small. So that adds up to 55 eyeshadow palettes. I mean, that includes those two little shadow palettes. Like, some of them are really small. And then I had like a bunch of those like Color Workshop ones. I had in total 45 last year. So I went up by 10, which is not so bad because the year before, in 2019, I had 26 and I went up by 19. So like almost double. And I feel like from 45 to 55, that's a difference of 10. That's less than one new palette a month, which I feel like is a reasonable amount. Now, my challenge is that I don't declutter things as often as I should. I hang on to a lot of stuff, so I really have to be conscious of adding stuff, knowing that I don't let things go. I mean, maybe they'll come to a point where I will start decluttering a bit more if I feel like it's getting unwieldy, but I feel like what I have is pretty manageable. 55, like, I can use basically one palette a week. And again, if you combine some of those little small ones, like, I wouldn't use a 2 eyeshadow palette for a whole week. So I think that's reasonable. This video is going to be way too long, but I'm going to keep it, I think, all together. And next we're going to move on to lips. Okay, we're in the home stretch here, guys. We're on lips. I'm hoping I can get eyes and lips all in one video. It's probably going to be an hour or more, but that's fine. It'll be one of those videos that you just put on in the background, you watch in parts. It's all good. So we're going to start off with lip balms because that's what I did last year. I have all my sort of plain lip balms here, except for I do have a tinted lip oil because these are my lip oils. So these are like the potted lip balms. These are obviously tubes, and then these are like regular lip balms. So I've got the one that's in my Project Pan, which is just a Burt's Bees one. This is the Blistix one that I've mentioned, I think, in my lip Project Pan that I want to sort of pull in for a few months because it has SPF in it. I don't know if you can see there, it says SPF 30. So I want to make sure I use as much of that as I can. This is, again, is just a plain Burt's Bees one, but a strawberry flavor. This is a Nivea lip balm, which I used one of these last year. This is just some random CBD one I got. It's kind of like sketchy, but I got it at, oh my gosh, it's 2 years ago now because obviously last year there was no, I was like, what's the words? Pride Festival or Pride Parade? So this was at Pride 2 years ago. I do have a Fisherman's lip balm here. I also have a Fisherman's lip balm in my car, so I put one of those in my car. This is just a Avon lip balm I got from a friend. This is a Jouer lip balm. And yeah, these are the lip oils. So I have 11 lip balms, including the one that's in the car. I have 4 potted lip balms. I actually have 4 tinted lip oils, or not tinted, one's tinted. I know I have another one of these, but I don't know where it is. I think it might be in the office. If it's in the office, I want it back. It's something that when it's safe to go into the office, I might go get because I miss it. So I know I have a 4th lip oil. Now we'll move over to the tinted lip balms. This category is not really centered. These are the tinted lip balms. Now this category is a bit, I have a hard time sometimes deciding if something is a lip balm or not. And like a tinted lip balm, some things kind of fall in the in-between zone. But these are the ones I'm calling tinted lip balms for now. I've included stuff in this category that I didn't include before. Like I'm pretty sure this I didn't include in this category. But anyway, I have 8 yes, sorry, 8 tinted lip balms. So in total, I've actually gone down in the lip balm category. I'm still up from 2019. I had 23 in the lip balm category in 2019. It went up to 31, and now we're back down to 27. So I'm pretty happy about that. This is a category I struggle with. I did swatch these just so you could see what they looked like. So this one is this NARS Orgasm lip balm. I don't know if it has a name, like the actual, I think it's just like a tinted lip balm. This is the Dior balm in 001. I actually want to get another shade in this, the Lip Glow. There's like a deeper shade, I think like rose something, that I'd like to buy. This is the Sugar Fresh lip balm in, I think, Honey. Can't really tell because everything is worn off, but if that's the wrong shade name, I'll correct myself. This is the Clinique Black Honey, I think is the name of the shade. It's a deluxe size sample. This is a Color Riche balm in, I have no idea what the shade number is, 518 Tender Mauve. I never really wear this one, and I really should. This one is a discontinued CoverGirl Nature Luxe, what do you call this? Just a gloss balm. It's in the shade 240 Muscat. I used one of those in my lip balm project last year. And then I have 2 of these. One of them is not open. They're actually super pigmented. Can you see how much like more pigmented that is than everything else? I don't even think the camera's doing it justice. It's super, super pigmented. It's the Burt's Bees Rhubarb Lip Shimmer. Well, lip shimmer in the shade Rhubarb. It's super pigmented. I don't really know what I want to do with these because it's so pigmented. And with it being a balm, it's probably going to be a lip thing. Like, I know I've worn it a few times, and I know I don't love it. Like, look how messy that is. I don't know if you can see that. Super messy. I don't know if I want to keep this. I like it. It's minty, too, which is actually really nice. And I do like the color, but I feel like it's kind of messy. Maybe I'll try it out for this summer, and if I don't like it, then I'm going to toss both of them. That's the plan. These are my lip liners. I'm not going to go into detail on each one and swatch them because I actually did an entire video on lip liners where I actually did lip swatches as well. I am up by 1 from last year and up from 2 in 2019, which I think is really good. I had 16 in 2019, I had 17 in 2020, and I have 18 in 2021. And this one's my Project Pan one. You can tell this is the full size, and then this is the Project Pan size. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I feel like the packaging is different color. I don't know if it's just because the plastic wrap, but I feel like the outer color is a different color, so I'm curious to know if the actual shade has changed. Sorry, I'm not even sure if I'm in frame. This is the Milani shade in 04 All Natural. Like, can you see how the packaging is a different color? Can you see that? Yes, you can definitely see that. So I'm curious to find that out. Here we are with the lip gloss category. Again, I did do a lip video maybe it's 3 years old now. I maybe could do an updated version of that, although a lot of these products are the same. But there is a lot of new stuff in here too. It might be a good idea actually to revisit that video and redo it. I know I hang on to a lot of lip products, and I don't go through them as fast as I would like to. So in this category, I know there's some, like these are lip glosses, and some of them are like regular lip glosses. Like these are the Becca ones, and like the Dominique Cosmetics one, and the Revlon ones are like the tinted lip gloss. Like they're kind of sheer, but then some like this Hikari one, or this Jouer one, or even this Bare Minerals one. I may have not put them in a gloss category last year, or the year before, just because they're very like pigmented gloss. I even think this one says high pigment gloss in the name, but because it says gloss in the name, I'm categorizing it as a gloss today. This is where we're at. So last year I had 22 lip glosses. I now have 25 lip glosses. This category's gone up by quite a bit. I know I bought that kit last year, so that's where like this one came. I bought this one last year. Like I know I bought a lot last year. I do go through lip glosses fairly fast if I focus on them. So I am working on this one and this one in my project pan. I'm pretty sure I can finish both of those this year. And I might throw in another one or two to try and finish up. Like for example, this one's pretty small. This is another interesting product. It's more like a lip topper. And same with this one. They're not really lip glosses, but this is the category they seem to fit into the best. So yeah, this category did go up by 5, but I'm not too upset because I do really like lip gloss. Although you can even see even the colors. Like I feel like all these lip glosses, except for maybe this one, this Quo one is really nice. It's a shame that it doesn't exist anymore. It's a super bright color, and it actually, like, it wears really nicely. It doesn't like transfer all over the place, and it's a really beautiful summer gloss. Anyway, yeah, like all the colors are fairly neutral. This one's pretty bright too, but on the lips it's not that bright because it's pretty sheer. Yeah, so 27 in this category. These are all my traditional bullet style lipsticks. I do have some other lipsticks that are probably the same sort of formula, but just like in a different kind of format. But these are like the traditional bullet style ones that I have. And I have the same number as I had last year. I have 41. 14 of them are minis. I'm including this here. This is the little sample from Pure Nata. If I had the full size of that, it is a bullet lipstick. So I'm just putting it in this category. I also realized that this NARS Orgasm probably should have gone in the lip balm section, but whatever. We're here now. It's in the lip bullet lipstick section. So yeah, I have 41. I'm okay with this number. Like, I'm looking at this. There's a couple that I could probably actually declutter. The sad part is this is a lot, knowing that I really can't finish them. Like, I just do not finish lipsticks. They're so hard to finish. Like lip glosses, sure, no problem, but like traditional lipsticks, so hard to finish. Yeah, even like this L'Oreal one could have maybe gone in the lip balm. I swatched it and it felt a little bit more lipsticky than lip balm. But yeah, I could maybe do an updated lipstick video. I don't know. It's a lot of work to do that video, and I feel like at least 80% is the same as last time, so I don't know how interesting or exciting it could be. But I do have a better microphone now, so maybe that would make it a better video. I don't know. Anyway, same number as last year. I just want to point out I did the same thing as I did last year and forgot this bullet lipstick on this half of this Tarte Duo. So I actually have 42 lipsticks. This is my liquid lipstick and I guess liquefied lipstick category. All of these are like dry down liquid lipsticks. I think this one even dries down, the Dirty Little Secret one. I tried it recently and it felt like it dried down. And these two are the ones that are like the liquid lipsticks. One is this Smashbox one. I can't remember the name. I want to say it's like Mauve Wife or something. And then this L'Oreal one, which is starting to dry out. That's definitely one that will probably be decluttered eventually. This category sort of blew up at the end of 2019, early 2020, because I got all of these in my lucky bag in 2020. I got 7 liquid lipsticks, and then I'm pretty sure it was the end of 2019, I bought this little Smashbox set. Speaking of this set, I have swatched these recently. They're starting to dry out, so again, these probably won't survive into 2021. So at least this category will shrink down a little bit after this year. So in total, I have 25 liquid lipsticks or liquefied lipsticks. Last year I had 30. I must have decluttered some, and I don't remember what I've decluttered, but I guess I did declutter some things. So yeah, this is what we've got. So these are the remaining lip products that I haven't included in any other category. These are sort of like the others. So these are all sort of like, they could have been in the lipstick section, I guess, but they're like tall, skinny lipsticks. So like they're not bullet lipsticks, but they're the similar style formula. This one is like a discontinued lilac from L'Oreal. This one's really funny. It definitely has that like old plasticky, like, and it's always been like that since I've had it. Like the style of lipstick has that like old school 1970s lipstick smell, which I kind of hate and kind of love. This one I bought because of Emily Noel. It's that Revlon HD in Sand, which I don't really like on me all that much. I kind of wish I picked a deeper color. These are those ColourPop lippy sticks. This is the one I'm decluttering. These are a couple of Revlon. I don't know exactly the line. They're discontinued. Again, could have maybe fit in the lip balm category. They're kind of they're like a sheer lipstick. They didn't feel like a balm. They felt more like a lipstick, but they're pretty sheer. These were my mom's. I may take these out of the collection because they're getting pretty old. Again, they'll be something that I don't get rid of. They'll just move into like a makeup memory box type thing. This is the Hourglass. I forget the name of this. This one's in a red shade. I kind of want to buy another, like a different shade, because I do like the formula, but it's just in a red that I don't wear very often. And this packaging is a bit weird. Like, it doesn't really fit anywhere. Oh man, my battery just died and I'm like almost done this. I think I left off starting to talk about these. So these are all sort of like pencil-y style ones, I guess. I've admitted in the past that this sort of style is not my favorite, and I think I've decluttered a couple. These two are a Nude Sticks one. This is a Tarte Lip Surgeons one. I'm pretty sure I decluttered one like this. This is one, again, that might get decluttered at some point, or I'll try and pan it, but I mean, it's red, so it might be difficult to pan. It's a Julep Plush Pout. I don't think they even have those anymore. This is a little mini Hourglass lip stylo, which I really like. This Trestique one is quite nice. I just kind of forget about it often. And then this is the Clinique one that I'm panning in my Project Pan. So in this category, I had, in total last year in this sort of like other category, again, things may have shifted in and out of this category because it's just sort of like the stuff that I've missed in the other categories. I had 18 in total. This year I have sort of 7 of these like others, and then I have 7 lip crayons, and then I have 9 of the others, so I have 16. So I'm down by 2. I had 18 last year. I now have 16. So in total, for lip products, so lip glosses, liquid lipsticks, bullet lipsticks, lip crayons, all the colored lip products in the world, I have 110. And I'm down by 1 from last year. Last year I reported that I had 111. So go me, I'm down by 1. I struggle with lip products because I know I can't finish them, and I know I hang on to them for way too long. And I do love lip products. Like, I want to buy more. So this is the problem. It's like I would declutter some of these, but I know I would just replace them. So I feel like for me, and I've looked at some of my numbers from previous years, around the 100 number seems to be a reasonable ballpark. Keeping it at this high kind of deters me from buying more. Like, if I decluttered a whole bunch of these, I would just buy more. Like, I know that. And I know that there's a lot of usable product here. So I've kind of accepted this is my equilibrium for lip products. So yeah, sorry I didn't swatch these or really go through. I realized I didn't even talk about each of the individual products, but I do have a lip swatching video. Again, I think it's about 3 years old now, but I would guarantee at least 75% of the products are the same. So you may want to check that out. I don't know, maybe I should check that out. If it's a really poor quality video, maybe I will attempt to redo it. I'm definitely considering doing what Kat from Beauty News is doing and actually really properly using these lip products, because I think there are some that I would declutter if I use them a bit more and realize, like, I did declutter some you know, I have those ones that you realize, like, you put on and you put them on and you take them off. You're like, no, I don't like that. But then you keep it because you swatch it and you're like, oh, it's such a pretty color. But then you put it on and you're like, no, I don't like that. And then you never actually, like, wear it out in the world or wear it throughout the day. So I know that there's probably a handful of products here that are like that for me. So it might be useful for me to do like a project like Kat from Beauty News is doing, where she's calling it her Lip-pocalypse, which is a great name. I don't know who came up with that name, but it's great. I might do something like that, or I might do more of like something like how I did my nail polish project a couple years ago, where I had a couple items that I was panning, and then I selected, like, I divided the number of products I had by month and said, okay, I have to select like I don't know, 3 bullet lipsticks and 2 lip glosses every month and make sure I use them to get through all of my collection. I think I might do that next year. That might be a really good idea to get through all of my products, and again, determine if there's anything that I do want to maybe move on with and declutter. Anyway, this video is going to be super long. If you've stuck around until now, you know, feel free to give it a little thumbs up. I don't know, maybe I should do what the Beauty News girls do. Maybe put an emoji down at the bottom, maybe a little puppy dog emoji, because I apologize, Harley has not really been in these videos, and I know he's the reason why a lot of you actually watch these videos. You try and catch a glimpse of Harley. He's actually sitting right next to me right now, just patiently waiting for supper. Anyway, if you did like this video, feel free to give a little thumbs up down below, and if you missed it, I did have a part 1 to this video with all my face products, and I apologize, there is a siren in the background. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my tiny little channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.